So we're going to take a deep dive into the career accelerator mindset. And when I think about the career accelerator mindset, I always think about my buyer's persona or you who have invested into this course. So, this person in my mind, her name is Grace Brown. And Grace is about between the age range of 27 and 38, right? And she's in her career, but she's not as happy as she wants to be in her career journey. But she has suddenly made a shift in her mindset and was like, oh goodness, I really want to get to where I want to be in my career. I really want to do something more. I really want to do something meaningful. And so, my friends, she has taken on the career accelerator mindset. And so we're going to take a deep dive into like what her career shifts or her mindset shifts consisted of. Okay? All right. So let's move on. Okay. So, Grace, like I told you, she said she made a mindset shift. And one thing she said to herself was the change starts with me in my career journey. Grace had to make a choice. And so I am encouraging you all to make that choice, of course. Make the choice. The change starts with me in my career journey. I have to be the change I want to be. It's not good enough to just talk about the change, but you have to be the change you want to see. And that goes for anything in your life. But for the purposes of this webinar, we're talking about in your career journey. Does that look like, you pivoting or talking to someone in another department about an opportunity that you're interested in? Does that look like you applying for a position that you think you don't even qualify for, but you're like, I have to make a change, and the change starts with me. So once you get that type of mindset, being that type of mentality within your career journey, let me tell you, friends, it's going to make a world of a difference as you elevate in your career journey. All right. So Grace also did something else. She made the decision, right, that the change starts with her. But she also had this phrase that she had to say to herself constantly and get it up here in her mind, which is career cursing is not an option for me. And I know you're like, what is career cursing? Well, career cursing isn't like you're using profanity or anything, but I mean it could mean that. But with this in this context, it means you're not speaking down about yourself. You're speaking life into your situations, and you're not speaking death into your situations in your career journey. And you're telling people, even though, the circumstance might not look good, but you're saying, like, listen, failure is not an option for me. If anything, if a setback is what's going to happen, it's really a setup for success in my career. And that's honestly how Grace has to look at her career journey. She had to shift her mind and get into that career accelerator mindset, right? Okay. So let's move on and talk about some other things that Grace had to really say to herself to help shift her mindset into career accelerator mode. All right. Grace had to talk about, she had to tell herself, my only competition when excelling in my career journey is me. I'm going to say that again because I feel like if you're watching this, you might be comparing yourself to others in your career journey. And it states, my only competition when excelling in my career journey is me. Woo! That means that spirit of comparison must cease. It must go. It must be poof, be gone out of your mind. And I want to share with you now that you are uniquely, fearfully, and wonderfully made. Therefore, you have to understand that your career path is your career path for a reason. And once you understand that, you'll be able to confidently and genuinely tell your career story or tell your career testimony to others as you what? Accelerate in your career, because that takes, my friends, a career accelerator mindset. So, again, only competition when excelling in my career journey is me. Whew, that is a really heavy one. And because we as human beings, we always are looking at so and so over there, we're looking at how they may have did it, but we need to understand just because they may have did it that way, it might, or 9 times out of 10, it's really not the way that you should go about doing things. And it's okay to have admirers, people you admire. However, when you think about your journey, your passions and what you're interested in, it's the key word in that what I just said is yours. It's your world. This is your career. It's your journey. So embrace it. Embrace it confidently. Embrace it unapologetically and accelerate. All right, let's go to the next one. All right, so Grace. Grace has been doing a lot of things to help shift her mindset to a career accelerator mindset. And one other thing she had to do was say, career fear does not reign here, meaning career fear does not reign in her mind. It doesn't reign in her tongue. It doesn't reign in the way she moves, the way she is going to pivot in her career journey. Fear will not stifle her. So I encourage you to not let fear stifle you as you accelerate in your career journey. When you think about fear, right? Fear can be so paralyzing and detrimental to the person that you are called to be in your career. You may be so content over here in this position or in this organization that you stifle your growth. You stifle your growth and you'll never get to point B where you may desire to get to point B, but you're like, there's too much going on. It's too much. And I'm just going to sit here in my career fear because, oh, I heard the word recession. I heard the word recession on the TV. And if I leave my job or if I pivot into this position, they might cut me. They might lay me off. They might do all the things. And I'm just going to be like out of a job. It's and when I say this, the recession, yes, the recessions are real. However, God is realer. So therefore, you have to understand, like if God is telling you, or if you have a desire to even move and pivot to somewhere because it excites you more, it aligns with your interest in this season more. Guess what? You got to say bye bye fear, and you got to evacuate fear from your mind, and it has to go. It has to go, and say bye bye fear. So I want you to say bye bye fear. Write that in your notebooks. Bye bye fear, because fear, you do not have any place here. Okay. All right, so let's move on to see what else Grace had to do. Woo. All right, so in order for Grace to develop this career accelerator mindset, she had to declare that the facts don't dictate my career trajectory. My faith does. Ooh, that's a heavy one too. That's a heavy mindset shift. And it correlates to what we were talking about with the career fear. How can we conquer the fear? How can we move past fear? You know, and the words always says, we are not giving, God does not give us the spirit of fear, but the spirit of love, peace. And so if we're allowing the facts of a situation to overwhelm us in our career journey, guess what? We can't move. we can't do anything. We sure can't accelerate. But we just have to trust and believe that we are going to be positioned and we are going to be protected in the midst of anything that may be going on. There is a position with our name on it. There's a position with our name on it. There's a position that will bring me peace, that will bring me joy, that will bring me happiness. The environment is not toxic or anything. We just have to declare those things and move on with our career and not be stifled by fear that we may feel or the facts of the situation. So for example, the fact may be, oh, it's only two promotions available. Okay. So we're going to declare and decree that guess what? You're going to get one of those promotions. But we're just not going to rely on our faith because, faith without works is dead. So we're going to put in the work too. So Grace had to put in a lot of work, starting with her mindset and her belief in herself, right? To get to the next level. But she also had to do some work, my friends. And that is really what I work with my clients on doing after we establish that the facts of your situation don't dictate your career trajectory, your faith does. We then begin to do the work may be, oh, did you update your resume? We're going to update the resume. We're going to update the LinkedIn page. We're going to get your interview skills squared away. We're going to develop your whole entire persona when it comes to you elevating in your career journey. So, my friends, the mindset is super, super key when it comes to career acceleration. Okay. All right. So, we have just went over how Grace was able to shift her mind to the career accelerator mindset. Now, I want to ask you, do you have a career accelerator mindset? And in your booklet, it's going to ask you a question. And the question is, how do you develop or how can you maintain a career accelerator mindset? I want you to take a few minutes, go through that exercise, and then continue with the webinar.